Calling the coronavirus a grave situation, China has quarantined whole cities and millions of people. The WHO has now listed the global threat as high. The safety of Canadians is currently dependent upon screening in China and the infected passengers self-reporting. Mr. Speaker, when will the government institute a real plan that includes enhanced screening process?
Other countries stopped flights in and out of China. Canada didn't. Other countries immediately introduced strict screening measures. Canada didn't. Now we're being told the window of opportunity for containment for stopping the global spread of this virus is closing. Can the Health Minister confirm that she is satisfied with the actions taken to date?
Good question. The Honourable Minister of Health.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And the measures that the member opposite are talking about are ones that are found during the containment phase. In fact, we did have screening for passengers that were coming from the most heavily affected regions, but now that we find the coronavirus in at least 35 countries, many that may not be tracking the virus, those measures are less effective, and it's time to turn our attention and our resources to making sure that we're prepared on the domestic stage.
Bonjour tout le monde. Good morning, everyone. Merci d'être des nôtres. Before we get into things, I have some news to share regarding the Canada-US border. Over the past few days, I've spoken to President Trump about what we can do to slow the spread of COVID-19. Deputy Prime Minister Freeland has been in touch with Vice President Pence and Secretary Pompeo. I just spoke to President Trump again this morning, and we have agreed that both Canada and the United States will temporarily restrict all non-essential travel across the Canada-US border.
I hold the government responsible for government decisions, and what we've seen from the beginning of this crisis is a government that is slow to react and has to constantly reverse itself. Remember, when Conservatives were calling for travel restrictions from countries that had seen a spike in cases, the government utterly refused to do that. In fact, they said that such border controls and travel restrictions were ineffective in the fight against the pandemic. Just days later, they were forced to reverse their position. We've seen them send thousands and thousands of pieces of equipment, masks, gloves, protective equipment to China after the World Health Organization had warned countries that COVID-19 was posing a global threat. So from the very beginning of this crisis, it's been clear that the government has not been providing Canadians with the clarity and certainty that we need to see from our government during a time of crisis.